We are reading Wired for Success, Programmed for Failure. We're in Chapter 2, Redefining Success. Definitions are predetermined destinations that force our life's course along paths we did not choose. In our pursuit of success, it is essential that we start by defining what we actually mean when we say the word success. Definitions are not mere intellectual terminology. Definitions are part of our heart's belief system. They are intimately connected to and deeply interwoven with our sense of self. And equally important, they are a part of our cultural programming. Success, like prosperity, is a subjective concept. It can mean many different things to many different people and can carry from culture to culture. Our culture gave us a definition of success long before we ever considered its meaning. In other words, someone else chose our definitions, thereby programming our destination. My definition of success. Success for me, after growing up in abject poverty, came to mean just getting by. Just getting by meant I could usually get to the bank in time to cover the bad checks I had written for groceries the day before payday. It meant I could get to the utility company just before my utilities were turned off. It meant that every extra dollar that came in would get there just in time for some unforeseen disaster that would once again leave me penniless. But all that was all right because I still paid my bills and managed to get by. And based on my definition of success, that was as good as it could get for me. Although God wired me for success, my upbringing programmed me for failure. But even worse, my culture forced me to accept a perverted definition of success that could have held me in poverty and lack all of my life. Then, to seal the deal, my early religious programming reinforced my corrupt definition. Our internal definition of success creates a map with a course and a destination that we may not have actually charted ourselves. I didn't really deliberately, intellectually accept my definition of success. My mother worked hard as a single parent in the early 1950s to raise 3 children on a salary of $19 per week. I loved and respected her for all of her sacrifices. I never would have considered her efforts to have been a failure. So by default, they became my concept of success. Through the years, I may have made a lot more money, but by definition, my experience of success never changed. No matter how much I made, I always just got by. It was never like working hard and putting my money in pockets with holes. Actually, in the mid-1960s, I made really good money. I worked as a boilermaker during the day. I also played in a band on the weekends, and I built, swapped, and sold musical instruments during the week. I made great money, but I also found myself just getting by. Because I had this corrupt definition of success, the destination was chosen. Just getting by was where I was going to go, no matter how I charted my course. You may choose any number of routes to get to your vacation location. Regardless, however, the route you choose, your map will only take you to the destination of your choice. The scenery is different. The time it takes to get there may vary, but in the end, you are still at the destination you choose. I know you may be saying, I never chose this destination. Actually, you did. In fact, every condition that determines the quality of your life was chosen at some point. It may have been unconsciously chosen. It may have been chosen by default, pressure, or persuasion, but it was chosen. Before you get embarrassed and defensive, you need to see the upside of this. If you chose the quality of life you now have, and it happened, then you can choose a better quality of life and expect it to happen. Beliefs are our thermostat. Beliefs of the heart create our quality of life. People may momentarily rise above their beliefs or sink beneath their beliefs, but they will always return to the level of their beliefs. Beliefs are like a thermostat. They monitor our life, just like a thermostat monitors the temperature. Any change in our quality of life will be allowed up to a certain extent. But if we move too far from our core beliefs, the heart sends signals to our brain, our body, and our environment to bring things back to the current setting. The invisible boundaries that we encounter over and over are not really out there. They are in here. Nothing will change to any substantial degree until we learn to reset the thermostat, our heart's beliefs. Some people say we form our life paradigm, our core beliefs, by the time we are 5 years of age. This means that before I was old enough to speak or intelligently think, I had pretty much forged my sense of self, which determines my life experiences. Beliefs can be forged many different ways. Circumstance, self-talk, repetition, and emotional experiences all become a part of developing our beliefs. Once beliefs are established, they become the substructure of our subconscious thoughts and feelings. Beliefs are different from thoughts. Thoughts are short term. Thoughts occur because of what we choose to think about. Thoughts have the ability to create emotions. Emotions are also short term. They tend to last as long as we have our thoughts focused or until we focus on a new thought. This is why positive thinking fails to bring long-lasting change for most people. It only works as long as we can control our thoughts. According to studies, we hold our thoughts for an incredibly short period. Beliefs, however, are quite different. Beliefs are long-term. They generate our prevailing subconscious thoughts that emerge effortlessly to direct and control our life. While intellectual thoughts create short-term emotions, beliefs give rise to long-term feelings. Feelings are abiding. They are a reflection of our sense of self. Our subconscious thoughts and long-term feelings require no effort. They simply emerge when we are not consciously focused. It is this very dichotomy that creates most of the stress in our lives. This seemingly irresolvable conflict between what we intellectually desire and choose and what we are subconsciously guided to do is the perfect example of the person who keeps charting a new course because of his intellectual desires, yet arrives at the same old destination because of his definitions. No matter how many times we say we want to be more successful, if our definition of success does not change, we will get exactly what we say, more of our current definition of success. We're going to end there today. We'll be back tomorrow to finish up Chapter 2.